Hi guys, welcome to week 13. Or is it week 12? Week 13. Yes, welcome to week 13, guys. We're almost at the very end. I know everybody's tired now and everybody really wants this to be over. We're almost there. We just have 2 weeks to go. And you have no new assignments because you now have all the assignments and you now know all the assignments. Now, I posted the oral presentation assignment and the research report assignment from last weekend. And some of you emailed me today asking me for the details. I'm not sure if it means you didn't remember it was there or you didn't know it was there, but it is there, guys. It's all there. We're still going to be doing that this week. Each week I still be having it this week. I have a few things to do, but right now you're going to have less to do, much less. Because right now you're only preparing for the last two assignments, the report assignment and the oral presentation assignment. So I've extended the deadline. It was supposed to be Thursday, then I made it Friday, and now I'm making it Sunday at midnight. If you want a little bit of feedback, but it is optional. If you figure you know what you're doing, that's fine. I am not asking you to do, sometimes I hear people say, oh, that's what she wants. It's not what she wants. It is what is the standard. She just holds you to the standard. That's all. I'm not making it up. It's not my way. Everything I tell you, you'll find it in the textbook. But I am aware that everybody has a different, you have a different schedule. Maybe you can't get it out. You don't have the time. As long as you know what you're doing, fine. But you won't lose marks if you don't post it. Okay? I think if you are a little bit shaky about what to do for the oral presentation, I think that if you care to watch the Zoom call, and you don't have to, but I thought Raphael, especially, I think if you listen to the feedback with Raphael or you listen to what Raphael did, I think it will help. And I think if you listen to, I think it was just Raphael and, come to think of it, Raphael and Alexis. If you listen, so skip the fun parts, or what I call fun parts, where I was talking or chatting. It is my channel, so I do that, right? But skip to the parts where they got feedback, and I'm sure you can pick from that. So as I said, we're looking for novelty, but more than anything else, we're looking for something that will make people's brain light up. So let us look at this very short clip where Chris Anderson, the TED Talk guy, talks about what happens in people's brains when you have an idea. So let us look at Chris Anderson's, what he's saying about great public speaking.
Seen each other before are finding that their brains are starting to sync with Haley's brain, with each other. They're literally beginning to exhibit the same brainwave patterns. And I don't just mean that they're feeling the same emotions. There's something even more startling happening. Let's take a look inside Haley's brain for a moment. There are billions of interconnected neurons in an impossible tangle. But look, here, right here, a few million of them are linked to each other in a way which represents a single idea. And incredibly, this exact pattern is being recreated in real time inside the minds of everyone listening. That's right. In just a few minutes, a pattern involving millions of neurons is being teleported into 1,200 minds just by people listening to a voice and watching a face. But wait, what is an idea anyway? Well, you can think of it as a pattern of information that helps you understand and navigate the world. Ideas come in all shapes and sizes, from the complex and analytical to the simple and aesthetic. Here are just a few examples shared from the TED stage. Sir Ken Robinson, creativity is key to our kids' future.
My contention is that creativity now is as important in education as literacy, and we should treat it with the same status.
Laura Hardy, building from bamboo is beautiful.
It is growing all around us. It's strong. It's elegant. It's earthquake resistant.
Chimamanda Adichie, people are more than a single identity.
The single story creates stereotypes. And the problem with stereotypes is not that they are untrue, but that they are incomplete.
Your mind is teeming with ideas, and not just randomly. They're carefully linked together. Collectively, they form an amazingly complex structure that is your personal worldview. It's your brain's operating system. It's how you navigate the world. And it is built up out of millions of individual ideas.
Okay, so you saw what was happening in the brain, right? Now you'll remember in this video where I spoke about the neurons. When you have to learn something, when you start out learning something, usually you don't have a pathway in your brain because you've never done the thing before. And you go from not even realizing that you don't know. In other words, I've showed you this diagram before, but you go from unconscious incompetence to unconscious competence. Now, the reason I'm reminding you about this, because what it tells you is that learning begins with an open field, so to speak. And then the more you practice and practice and practice, it becomes an area where the brain, is dancing around and the neurons are dancing around and you're learning. Now, if your brain already is at, let's say, stage 3, even if you're not doing the thing well, it cannot go back to stage 1. So if you choose a topic that people already have stage 3 information on, it's not going to work. It can give you a C grade, but that is what it will give you. So I want to explain, and I want that to be very clear. It's not that Tanya is miserable. Yes, she may be. It's the joy of being over 50. Yeah, one of the joys, yeah. And it's not a matter of being cranky. Okay, sure, I may be a bit cranky at times. I'm very particular about what I want. And students are very particular about the grade they get. So in my mind, if that's the grade you want, I'm going to show you what you need to do to get that grade. But if you don't want that grade and you don't care, then do your thing. Because let's face it, in zoology or whatever other courses you do, I'm sure some of you get C's, right? But for some reason, students believe that because it's just English, I should not get a C. If you do C work, you're going to get a C. So if you choose a topic that does not do that thing to people's brains, it's not going to be an A speech. And if you don't deliver it brilliantly, it's not going to be an A speech. But I tell you, as I said to Raphael, who did his presentation, he hasn't finished it, but it already feels like it's going to be an A speech. Why? Because of the way he started and how novel his approach was and what he was talking about. Just the first time, when I heard the first line, I said, yes. And I wanted to hear more. I wanted to lean in. Now, I know everybody doesn't have the same skill, but that's okay. I'm sure if you ask Raphael, he'll say, oh, I'm not good at ABC. But as soon as I heard him, I said, you've done presentations before. Now, he has an advantage because he has done it before. If you haven't, so what? So what? But if you want an A speech, please look at the criteria. I don't need you to run it by me. I would prefer if you did not run it by me. You are a college student. You can trust yourself. You're not doing it for me. It's not a matter of, let me see if this is what she wants. I hear that all the time. Well, that's what she wanted. It's not what I want. It's the standard. I'm just upholding the standard. So if you look at the criteria and you meet the criteria, use the topic. And then the B speech. So if you think about it, the B speech has to be a challenging topic. It has to be challenging. And I want you to think of that word. Is it challenging? If it is not challenging, it will not ever get you an A. Now, if the B speech is challenging, you can imagine what the A speech would be like then, right? If the B speech requires a challenging topic, then you can just imagine what is required of the A speech. So look at the B speech and then shoot a little bit higher, because I thought the B speech gave a better explanation. That is standard. So topics like habits and flow, those things are not challenging. Plus they were done last semester. So stay away from any of the topics that I told you about in last week's wrap-up video. Any of those that I spoke about, stay away from those, because those are not going to give you anything more than maybe 50%. If you choose to do something that other 11, 15 students did last semester. I've told you, you've been warned, do not do the topics, because I read them to you last week. Don't do those topics. Now, for those of you who were on the call, well, I think by then most of you had disappeared, but I had a student who turned up because she did 11:15 with me, she did 11:25 with me, and she did 12:16 with me. And she got A in every course. She got A plus in 12:16, she got A plus in oral presentations, and she got an A in 11:15. Mind you, I don't think I can remember anybody at Douglas doing that well. But I will tell you that she redid two of her, for 11:15, she redid two of the assignments. I could remark two then, guys, because I wasn't on my computer. I can only remark one this semester, unfortunately. So I'm not trying to say that she was perfect, but what I'm trying to say is one of the things I admire about Trisha is that she could take feedback, and she was never offended. The first time she came to me and she said, "This is due in 2 days, but I just want to know what you think." My response to her was, "Do you want me to be nice or do you want me to be honest?" And she said, "Honest." I said, "Okay." And when I was done, she said, "Whoa, that's a lot of honesty." I said, "Well, you said you wanted honesty." She said, "Yeah, I can take it." And she went back and she wrote and she wrote and she rewrote and she rewrote. And she got an A in the end. An A plus in practical writing is very difficult, but she got an A. Everything on point. Now let me tell you something else about her. She's just as critical with me, because the first time when I started my YouTube videos, she used to watch them, and every time she would text me, she'd message me, and she'd say, "That was really horrible." And the first time she said, I said, "What?" She said, "Oh, the volume." Like for one of them, the one at the volume goes high and then it goes low. I didn't even notice it. She said, "Okay, I nearly got deafened when I was..." I thought, okay. I said, "I'm not taking it down though, because I'm really not going to go through that again." She said, "Yeah, well, next time, blah, blah, blah." She was just as tough. And she also had the attitude, "Can you take it?" I said, "Yeah, I can take it." And you know what? She never ever... I thought she was a bit harder than me, but I wanted it, because the first time I put up a video on YouTube, I'd never recorded a video before. So when she said, "You didn't do this," I said, "Really? So how could I do that better?" And when she told me, I tried it. She watched the next one and she said, "A little bit better, but you need to zoom in and zoom out." I said, "How do I do that?" I said, "Okay." When I did it, I said, "Was that better?" She said, "Just a little bit better, but that editing looks a little bit amateurish." I said, "Okay, what do you think I can do?" She said, "Why don't you get one of the blah, 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 blah?" She was the one who said, "You need to change your computer now, because obviously it's not working for you." So what I'm trying to say is that's how you grow. No, I started this channel only in April. So it's not yet a year, it's almost a year. And when I did the Valentine's video, which is not for you, that's for my other audience, it was the first time she said, I have no criticisms. I said, thank you. Every month she comes, she checks in and she says, what are you doing? That scary face, that thumbnail doesn't look good. Sometimes I didn't change it because I said to her, you know what, I can't do thumbnails. So the thing is, that's the only way you grow. Another guy who was on the call, Adib, I'm in a Facebook group with him. For a few times I said to him, can you do my thumbnails for me? So he would do my thumbnails, and I would say to him, if you have any editing, any email you're sending out, send it to me. In return, I will do that because I know where my strength is. It's not in thumbnails. Everybody has a different strength. Now, my job is to tell you how you can do better. I know, guys, it's not easy because when people are critical of me too, it's not as if I say, come give it to me, I love it. No, I want to hear it. I want to know if it's true or if it's just done out of spite and malice. And if it's not, even if it hurts, I'll take it. Because Trisha was quite tough, always. But you know what's interesting about Trisha? Anytime she's now at SFU, and anytime she wants to write her professors there, and especially if it's like a bad news email, like when she didn't like her grade and she wanted to challenge it and blah, 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 she would write up the rough draft and then she'd send it to me and say, Tanya, how can I soften this with the you attitude? I said to her, but you got an A. She said, yeah, but I like the way you do it. Routinely, she sends me her work. She's one of the few students who has become a friend. And not like we're buddies or anything, but we have a very good relationship. When she does her essays, she says, Tanya, can you take a look? I said to her, if you have a week, sure, send it to me. But you can't send it to me today and expect it tomorrow. Okay? And I have a couple students like that who are no longer around, but every now and again, if they have a difficult thing to write, they email me. I said, Tanya, what do you think about this? I write them back and say, how much time do you have? I said, I can't do this right now, up to my neck in marking, but I can eventually, okay. And then they tell me if they can wait or they can't wait. I promise you guys, if you take this seriously, you'll be amazed at what you can do. You don't want to be working somewhere and people are laughing at you behind your back, never telling you what you've done wrong. You don't want that. And if you want a job that requires writing, this course will prepare you for that. And my job isn't to make you feel happy. My job is to challenge you to be better. And I lead with that into telling you that I sent an email telling you guys that the progress report, I need you to use that checklist. Go into announcements and you will find the progress report checklist. Please, if you want a decent grade, please use it. If you don't want it, don't use it. But I started second marking the cover letters because the first marker has finished marking. And to my surprise, I don't think she passed anybody. I think she passed maybe 2 people. So I need to go back and find out why, because I'm thinking, okay, I know she's been doing this for the last 22 years. She marked at all the universities and colleges, but I kind of think that sounds a little bit harsh. So I'm redoing them now. And as I'm looking at them, I found a lot of them were, had Ada, but a lot of the sentences were not properly structured. If you have one error on a cover letter, that could cost you the job. And she kept making comments. I had to delete those comments because I don't think you guys want to hear that. She said, this cover letter will not get you a job. Because when she examined what you were applying for, so I said, okay, let me kind of soften these a little bit. So because of that, I am concerned about the writing. Well, I was always concerned about the writing, but I want you guys to understand that it has to be error-free. And when you look at your paper, you're going to see a lot of blue and red. If you see blue and red, I don't know how she gets the blue and red in, whatever. If you see a lot of blue and red, if you see more than one blue or red, that's a problem. For you, if it's a cover letter. In the real world, it would be a problem. And in the course, it's another problem. So because I saw that, I thought it made sense to ask you to look very carefully at your progress reports. Very carefully. And go sentence by sentence. I spoke about it on the Zoom call, how you should do it from the last sentence up. All I can do is tell you what to do, guys. You have to do it. You have to do it. If you have a friend who is a stronger writer than you, ask the friend to look at it. Not me. Because guys, I'm giving you overall. I'm telling you what to do overall for impact. Even when you're on the Zoom call, I'm not going through sentence by sentence. And by the time you change it and you do what you want to do, you can take my ideas, but you have to structure your sentences carefully. So check your progress report very carefully using the checklist here. Now, once you've done that, you're ready to focus on the 2 assignments that are left, which we are doing in stages. Now, you have a choice. You don't have, if there are no marks, and I'm going to make sure that there are no marks assigned to anything related to the different stages of the report and the oral presentation. But if you want feedback, you need to meet those deadlines. If you don't want feedback, you're good. But please make sure that you read the assignment guidelines because the report has to look a certain way. As I said in the last video, every year I get some that look like essays, everything just together, no table of contents, nothing. I see that every year. And that's why I'm telling you, read the textbook, read the assignment guidelines, read the PDF file with Bovie, read the Guffey. You can't do it without that. In addition to that, as I pace you, you need to keep up with me. So now, by Sunday, you need to have the outline there if you want feedback. Once I look at it, I will give feedback by Wednesday. And then I'm going to say the next thing you need to now do is look at your core sentence, look at the 3 categories of your core sentence. And with the alphanumeric outline, I'm going to ask you by at least Thursday to give me at least one part of the body of the report so I can see what you are doing. And once again, you don't have to do it. If you don't want to do it, it's optional. But I want to see the first page. I want to see what you're doing. I usually say, I want to see the first 2 pages. I want to see what you are doing. But for you to do that, you have to have done your core sentence already. So what I will try and do is give you feedback on the core sentence first, maybe by Monday. So that on Thursday, so that by Thursday, those of you who want to turn up for the Zoom call, which will be publicly put on YouTube, if you want to turn up for it, with it, that's fine. If you don't want to, that's also fine. But I'm going to give you enough time so that if you want to turn up with it, you can bring it, put it up, and we can look at it and give you some feedback. And it would be good if you had your speech done a little bit more. If you have your speech kind of worked out a little bit more, then we can also do that. And even though it wasn't planned, maybe we can squeeze in one more Zoom call where you then do a dry run. Because if some of you haven't yet even done your outline, then maybe on Thursday you're not necessarily ready to perform. But it would be good if you performed and did a practice dry run before you submitted it. Once again, optional. You don't have to do it. It's just a good idea. So I know I had already done, I already asked who could come on Thursday, and at least 20 of you seem to say that Thursday was good for you, which means it's very tight. With 20 people on, if 20 people want feedback, that's a lot. So make sure that when you come, you have it worked out, because there's not going to be a lot of time. Matter of fact, if you're not ready and there are errors, I'm just going to say, okay, you need to fix that, and I'm going to move on to the next person. Because I don't expect you to come without having worked it out. I think what we did today was very clear. So everybody by now should know what the introduction should look like. If you've forgotten, look back at the video where I spoke about the 5 parts of the introduction. It's there. It is there. All you need to now be doing is practicing, or, well, no, gathering information. So when you come on Thursday, if you come, if you care to do it, I expect you to have a fully developed oral presentation outline with everything intact. Attention grabber, where you have the topic, everything. And then I would have expected you by then to test your attention grabber with your thesis and your conclusion as instructed in this video. Make sure that you watch this video. It's going to be one of the week's assignments anyway, but make sure you watch it before you come on Thursday, because it will help you to be prepared. And guys, like I said, none of this is a requirement for the course. So you don't have to do it if you don't want to do it. If you can do this on your own, fine. I just want to make sure that you really are doing it. But it's really up to you, okay? Next week also, in addition to looking at the structured outlines, I'm also going to be walking you through everything that needs to happen, that needs to be on the report. So I'm hoping to divide the time. First, I'm going to talk about the report. So I don't remember what time we agreed. I think we said 4:30. If you don't want to come for the first hour, that's fine, because I'm not taking people's questions and so between 4:30 and 5. I am going to be showing you everything that I'm expecting to see on the report. So I would say that part would take me maybe 45 minutes. So you don't have to turn up before 45 minutes after we start. That part is general for everybody. Once we've done that, then I can start to look at your work if you want. Once again, now for those of you who don't want to join us, I cannot give you feedback if you are not on the Zoom call. I want that to be clear also. You don't need to come, and this is not my way of pressuring you to come. You don't have to come. I can take comments if I remember, but I cannot do feedback in the chat box. I can't do it. So I just want that to be very clear. I cannot do that. I am not a miracle worker. I can't do that. So if you have a quick, easy question, I can answer it. But it cannot be feedback in the chat box. I just want that to be clear. Okay? So I think I've said everything. You guys really need to buckle down. It really is. We don't have a lot of time. So I'm going to ask you guys to focus. I know that at the end of the semester, a lot of other instructors have give you a lot of work. And I also know that I'm asking for a report and other instructors are asking for papers which are due a lot, like 20, 25, 30% assignments. I know that. So if you've never thought of it before, I'm going to ask you to consider a little schedule and pace yourself. Pace yourself. if you do the things that I'm asking you to do at the time, you're good. Because once you get through once I give you feedback on Monday, you need to start doing your research. And once you do your research, you need to start plugging in and figuring out your body paragraph. So when you come, if you come on Thursday or by Thursday anyway, you should be very clear with your alphanumeric outline, and you should at least have started your research. Matter of fact, you really should have done the first page of your report, which is the introduction and the first part of the body paragraph. So it's introduction, which is about 3 paragraphs, and then on the same page, more than likely, you would have started the body paragraph. So 1 page. If you have 1 page complete by Thursday, you're making good progress. 1 page. If you have 2 or 3, even better. But the report is really just 4 pages, you know. But if you have 1 page and I can see what it looks like, then that will give me and you a good sense of where you're going. The thing that makes the report 10 pages is the letter of transmittal, which you just have to copy that from. Copy the one on the... When I say copy, use the same format. It's nothing new, nothing creative. You have to have a table of contents page. You have to have a title page. You have to have your reference page. Those parts are the easy parts. It's the body, the actual report that needs to be about at least 4 pages. Please, no more. 5 the most, but 4 pages. And that's it. And that's easy, guys. It's really not hard, but you gotta start it now. You gotta start it now. So, I think we're good. And like I said, guys, I'm not doing feedback by email. I'm just not. I just can't. Okay? So, I want you to read the assignment, and I want you to read very carefully, because all the questions that you ask have been already answered right there. So I think I've told you everything I need to tell you for this week, and we'll have the usual. So for this week coming up now, guys, you'll have fewer videos to watch. I think 2, maybe 2, which the summaries are due for the Sunday. We're no longer doing anything in the week now because I want you to focus on writing the report. But you need to watch the videos because you need to do the work. So I think there'll only be 2, and there'll be probably another 2 optional videos. Optional. You don't have to do any summaries, and you don't have to watch them if you don't want to watch them. The ones that you must watch to succeed in the course, those are the ones you have to summarize. The others will help you, but if you don't want to watch them, you don't have to watch them. Once again, up to you. So, I think I've told you everything, guys. And yeah, that's it. That is it. So, yeah, I think we're good. So, have a good weekend, guys. I'm actually not sure when I'm going to end up putting up this video, but this is Friday night now, and I don't know what's going to work out. So if this is Friday night for you still when I upload this video, have a good weekend. If it's Saturday, have a good weekend. I hope it is at least by Saturday. Talk to you soon, guys. Bye for now.